Hello again. In Anthony Hoekema's book, The Four Major Cults, we have got to point number 4 in his chapter, The Distinctive Traits of the Cult. This trait number 4 is the group as the exclusive community of the saved. A fourth distinctive trait of the cult is that it absolutizes itself as the exclusive community of the saved. Hutton, one of the great European cult experts, points out that the anti-ecclesiastical polemic, which is so characteristic of the cult, is but the converse side of its own self-justification, since the cult is convinced that it is the only true community of God's people. It must try to show that the church is either an apostate organization or an actual instrument of the devil. There is among the cults no appreciation for the biblical doctrine of one holy Catholic Church, that is, of the universal Church of Christ, composed of Christ's true people of all the ages and from all the nations. Every cult says, we alone are the people of God. The cult, so to speak, takes God by the arm, insisting that his evaluation of people must agree with its own. Let us see how this trait is found in the cults we have studied. Mormons contend that the Church of Jesus Christ was in a state of apostasy until God revealed himself to Joseph Smith in 1820. When Smith and Oliver Cowdery received the Aaronic and Melchizedek priesthoods from heavenly messengers in 1829 and 1830, the restoration of the church took place. The Mormon Church is therefore the only true church, because it alone has the priesthood of the Almighty, and it alone, since the time of Christ, has received, and may still receive, divine revelation. One of the early apostles of the Mormon Church claimed that non-Mormon churches have no right to call themselves Christians, since Christ has nothing to do with them. And a recent Mormon writer has said that there is no salvation outside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It may be noted that the possibility of salvation for those who died in ignorance of Mormon teaching only confirms the point under discussion, since such people can be saved only if Mormons have been baptized for them. Christian Science also claims to be the only true church, since Mrs. Eddy is said to have received the final revelation of the divine principle of scientific mental healing, and since Science and Health is said to be the voice of truth uncontaminated by human hypotheses, it follows that, according to them, no group outside of Christian Science has or knows the truth. Though individual Christian scientists may express appreciation for other Christian groups, it is clear from the statements just alluded to that the views of all other churches about the Bible and the way of salvation must officially be considered basically erroneous, while Christian Science is held to be unerring and divine. In Jehovah's Witness ecclesiology, we reach the ultimate in bigotry. It is said by them that Jehovah's Witnesses alone are God's true people, and that all others, without exception, are followers of the devil. The Watchtower Society is now the only instrument or channel whereby Jehovah teaches his people on earth. The great whore of Revelation 17 is organized religion, Christian as well as heathen. The visible part of the devil's organization on earth includes all of Christendom, Protestant as well as Roman Catholic. The religious clergy are, in fact, the direct link between mankind and the demons. At Armageddon, all of Earth's inhabitants, except Jehovah's Witnesses, will be wiped out of existence. Only Jehovah's Witnesses, therefore, will survive Armageddon. During the millennium, non-witnesses, who are raised from the dead, will be given an opportunity to save themselves in response to the preaching and teaching of the princes, prominent among whom will be those who occupied leading positions with the New World Society on earth. Whenever a group takes the position that it is the only community of the saved, however, it violates an important aspect of Scripture teaching. Christ himself warned against this type of bigotry when his disciples said to him, "Master, we saw one casting out demons in thy name, and we forbade him, because he followeth not with us." Jesus replied, "Forbid him not, for he that is not against you is for you." That's Luke 9:49 and 50. We should therefore remember that whenever a denomination slips into a kind of thinking similar to that described above, it reveals a tendency toward cultic behavior. Next time, the fifth point, the group's central role in eschatology. I put in a link to 5 characteristics of cultic groups, a tract that we have published and made videos of, 3 videos actually, Slaves of Men. See you then.